Hello and welcome to Chicago O'Hare International Airport. Today, you'll join me on a business class journey to Munich aboard Lufthansa's A350. This flight is part of my return trip between Vienna and Chicago, initially booked in economy for €751, then upgraded using e-vouchers from my Miles&More Senator status. Unlike Austrian Airlines and Swiss, which operate out of Terminal 5, Lufthansa shares Terminal 1 with United Airlines. We arrived at the airport just before 5 p.m., only to discover that the check-in desks wouldn't open until 10 past 6. Anticipating this, we queued up at 5:50 as the staff began to appear and the desks opened slightly ahead of schedule. Check-in and priority security were remarkably efficient, and we found ourselves at the sea gates in no time. Traveling through O'Hare's iconic tunnel, a brief 3-minute walk brought us to the highlight of our early arrival, the United Polaris Lounge. Exclusively available to international Star Alliance business or first-class passengers, the Polaris Lounge offers the finest lounge experience in Chicago. Even if your flight departs from a different terminal, you can switch terminals airside to indulge in this unparalleled oasis of comfort and luxury. Feeling hungry, we bypassed the drinks counter and the inviting seating pods, and headed straight for the dining room, the a la carte restaurant of the lounge. While reservations are possible during busy times, we were fortunate to find the lounge almost empty, securing a table immediately. The menu, though small, was perfectly curated. In a business class lounge, quality over quantity is key, and the limited selection ensured each dish was of top-notch quality. We settled into a cozy booth with a view of the dining area and enjoyed a delightful meal. I opted for the signature burger, customizable with a variety of toppings, and it exceeded my expectations. For those in a hurry or seeking a quick snack, the expansive buffet offers a variety of options. The lounge also features a manned bar for alcoholic beverages. As a huge fan of cocktails, I eagerly ordered an old-fashioned, but was disappointed by how overly sweet it was. I decided to switch to champagne for the rest of our stay, which proved to be a much better choice. It's worth noting that the bar expects you to tip, which I find a bit off-putting in a lounge setting. The lounge provides excellent apron views, though there wasn't much activity to observe during our visit. As our time in the lounge drew to a close, we learned that the showers and nap rooms were already closed as well, which was a minor disappointment. However, the all-gender restrooms were plentiful, spacious, and impeccably clean, adding to the overall comfort of our lounge experience. After a delightful stay in the lounge, we made our way back through the tunnel and headed to the B gates, where 2 Lufthansa flights, one to Frankfurt and ours to Munich, were scheduled to depart from neighboring gates in quick succession. This convergence created a somewhat chaotic scene, with passengers crowding the area. However, when priority boarding commenced, we swiftly left the crowd behind and joined the queue to board our aircraft, an Airbus A350-900. The A350 features 8 rows in a 222 business class configuration. The larger cabin spans rows 1 to 6, while a more intimate mini cabin occupies rows 7 and 8. For this flight, we selected seats 7 hotel and 7 kilo in the bulkhead row of the smaller cabin, seeking a bit more privacy. We were warmly greeted at the door and again as we made our way down the aisle, but unfortunately that was the extent of the warm hospitality we had anticipated. Currently, the most common business class product in Lufthansa's fleet is starting to see a change with the introduction of their new Allegris Business Class, which debuted on the Munich to Vancouver route on May 1st, 2024. While this older configuration is certainly outdated and lacks privacy, it does offer an advantage for couples like us who enjoy sharing a window seat. Here's a clear view of row 8. Along with a look at the bulkhead footwell, which was unfortunately smaller than I had hoped for. However, this was not the biggest issue I encountered with the seat. More on that later. We had ample time to settle in, as the crew assigned to our cabin was noticeably absent. It wasn't until long after the left side of our cabin had been served the welcome drinks that we were finally offered a glass of champagne. Let's take a closer look at the seat. Unfortunately, there are no individual air vents. The aisle seat offers a bit more storage space than the window seat, thanks to the literature pocket positioned between the footwells. The closed cubby initially housed the amenity kit and a water bottle, and it folds outwards in the middle. Between the seats there are two universal power outlets. The hole next to them housed the AKG on-ear headphones and the headphone jack. On top of the consoles are the controls for the air-cushioned seat, and a flap opens up to reveal the tray table and IFE remote. Underneath the console is a USB-A port. The tray table is released by pushing on it and folds out to double the surface area. Although there was some flex, it felt sturdy overall. The remote uses a D-pad instead of the cursor found on other Lufthansa planes. My left armrest could be lowered to widen the bed or make it easier to leave the seat with the table deployed. The headrest, which also houses a reading lamp, is adjustable as well. Here you can see the amenity kit, a pouch from Porsche design containing the bare essentials and a few lotions from L'Occitane. Next to the IFE screen there is a coat hook and a holder for your glasses. After takeoff, the meal service began with a hot towel. As is typical with overnight flights from the US, the selection was somewhat limited and the meal was served on one tray to save time. If you're eager to get to sleep, you can opt for the express service. Nuts were handed out with the drink service. For my main course, I chose the surf and turf, which was easily the best dish I enjoyed on this flight. The appetizer salad wasn't to my liking, but the ice cream provided a satisfying conclusion to the meal as I decided to skip the cheese course. The restroom was a standard A350 bathroom featuring a full-body mirror and a few amenities stocked on the counter. In addition to soap, there was also lotion available. As for the seats, they are slightly angled towards the fuselage, unlike the bulkhead. The IFE screens fold out slightly, but unfortunately cannot be angled downwards when you're in bed mode, which can be inconvenient. The entertainment selection was just okay. I found a few movies that caught my interest, but frequent flyers might quickly exhaust the available content. The user interface worked well with the remote, but the limitations of the system became apparent when trying to scroll with a finger. The TV show selection was a significant letdown. While waiting for the flight map to load, I checked out the Wi-Fi prices. 25 euros gets you unlimited data with the highest speed for the entire flight. The plane is equipped with 3 cameras, providing different views during the journey. Lufthansa offers unpackaged headphones for their business class customers with earpad covers available in the amenity kit. As usual, I opted to use my AirFly Pro Bluetooth transmitter in conjunction with my AirPods Max. Before bed, the crew handed out a small box of pralines, a delightful touch to end the evening. As I mentioned before, the seat is air cushioned, theoretically allowing you to adjust the firmness of the mattress. Unfortunately, an hour after I managed to fall asleep, I awoke with hip pain because the bottom half of the seat had completely deflated, leaving me lying on the metal frame. The crew had to partially disassemble the seat to check all the hoses and restart it. Luckily, this fixed the issue, but it still disrupted my sleep. Unlike on other long-haul flights to Asia, for example, no mattress pads, slippers, or sleeping shirts were provided on this flight. Breakfast was served on a single tray, which was perfectly fine. The Greek yogurt bowl wasn't to my liking, but the rest of the breakfast dish was okay. I was left a bit underwhelmed by this flight. The crew member attending to us throughout the journey neither greeted us nor smiled during any interaction. It's disheartening to feel like a burden to the crew, especially when you're being friendly and not making any special requests. The entertainment selection was lackluster, which isn't a huge deal for a night flight, but it could be a letdown on day flights or for frequent flyers who get the same limited selection. The food was okay, though I can be somewhat picky, so I might not be the best benchmark in that regard. The issue with the seat in bed mode was unfortunate, but thankfully could be fixed. I had a similar issue on Swiss a few years ago, and that persisted throughout the whole flight. Our flight to Chicago in Austrian Airlines Business Class was much more enjoyable. If you have the option, I would recommend choosing them over Lufthansa. You can see what that flight was like by clicking on this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Happy travels and see you soon.